today we're going to do a 10-minute workout, mostly about balance. And we're going to use these little mini balance pods. So I have about 4 of them. You can buy them in a pack of like 6 to 8, or you can just buy them individually. They're really easy to travel with. They're great for balance and perfecting your form, because we have the delta of fitness, and so we have cardiovascular fitness, we have strength training, resistance training, fitness, and then we have balance and flexibility, and that makes up our triangle so that we are overall very healthy, very fit. And balance is one of those things that as we get older, we need to work on all the time. And I would suggest that using some of these little tools can help you do that. Now, we do have the big BOSU that we work on as well, and that gives a lot of balance exercises. So you could incorporate these exercises that I'm going to do onto your big BOSU. All right, so let's go ahead and get warmed up. You're going to need a few little balance things. Now, if you are just starting out with balance, you can do these exercises without using the balance pods. And once you create a more solid core, a stronger core, are able to hold your balance a little bit longer, then you can add this as an add-on or a more advanced thing. So we're going to warm up our body like we always do. The important thing about balance is we need it so that we don't fall. One of the things that you're going to want to focus on is finding a focal point. Finding a point, a line of sight, a gaze, if you will. I'm going to turn this out. While you're holding your abs tight to your spine and breathing, we don't want to forget about breathing. People always tend to, when we get into core work, they tend to hold their breath. You want to keep breathing, but hold your body tight. It's light and tight. We're not just hanging out in these positions. And then you want to find a focal point to look at, something to look at. You can use a bright water bottle. You can use a bright piece of tape and put it at your spot so that you can focus on that spot. That's going to help you with your balance. I'm going to work a little hamstrings today, so I'm just going to do a little hamstring curl. Ignite my glutes, because we want to bring our glutes to the party even with balance poses. Squat down. Load my legs. Move side to side. And I'm going to go ahead and circle out my arms. Tap in on my shoulders. Maybe mimic some of the things I'm going to do. Did squats. We're going to work some lunges today. Nice and slow. So I'm just going to pop a couple out. We work the hamstrings. Exercises that are going to, 1, help us with balance, 2, work through the body, different planes of motion, like we always want to do. We want to work around our body and work in different planes of motion. So the first thing I'm going to do is get a couple of pods. Under your chin, get a few pods, and then we want them to be hip width. Now, what I would suggest is stand on them if you're not used to it, right? And notice your movers and your stabilizers. My feet are stable. They're going to be stable to my pod. My ankle is going to be my mover. So my ankle is my mover. So you're going to see my ankle move around as I try to continue to keep my balance. Now, if this is where you're at and find your focal point, you can work this and just kind of breathe in, hold this. Then you might want to just lift your leg and put it back down, and then lift the other leg and put it back down. So we're going to do that first, and then we're going to go into a squat and do that. You're either holding this nice and tight, or you're lifting your leg, putting it down, exhaling, lifting your leg, putting it back down. Find something to look at. Pull the pit of your belly in and up. Now, as your brain works through this with your body, and you get to about, I don't know, 6 or 7 repetitions, it's going to seem like it's a little easier because your brain's going, oh, that's what we're doing. And then go ahead and step off of that. Another way to start the balance, get warmed up with the pods. Get used to your pods, stand on them all the time. Now, if you're just starting out and you're just beginning to work balance poses, you can roll your shoulders back and then lift your leg. I'm going to just lift my foot right by my ankle. I want to keep my standing leg nice and soft, and I'm just going to hold this position 30 seconds. Now, if you need a little bit more, you can stand on one leg and hold that for 30 seconds. You could do that as well. It's a nice warm up. All right, so I'm going to get back on my pods. I'm going to find my focal point. Pull the pit of the belly in and up, roll the shoulders back, and then we're going to squat down. Want my knees behind my toes, apple under my chin, and I'm standing on an unstable surface, working my squats. You're going to want to go slow. Find your focal point. Exhale as you come up. Inhale as you come down. Breathe through. Pull everything light and tight as you stand on your balance points. And then you can go ahead and step off of that. So those are our squats, or your standing leg lifts, right? You're going to do that for about 30 seconds. So I'm going to put one, I may put 2 out here. I'm going to put my pods out in front. I want to work lunges. Now you can work them back, put your back foot on the pod and step out and step back. Or what we're going to do is front. We're going to lift the leg, step out onto our pod. Now it's unbalanced. I'm going to come down for my lunge, come up and step off of it. Right? So I want to keep working the same leg. I'm going to try to find that focal point. Really get my core nice and strong. Step out, lunge down, come up, step out. Step out, lunge down, step off of it. Step up, lunge out, come down, and step off. Each one's going to feel a little different depending on where your foot lands on that pod. And one more. And I'm really having to fight for my balance, which is really awesome because it's really working my core, making my core nice and strong, making my balance better. And your body's going to struggle because you've got movers and stabilizers. Shoulders and hips need to follow each other, right? They're going to follow each other. So there's going to be some movement in your body, and that's okay. You're going to land and not fall over. Feet are stable. Ankles move. Your knees are your stabilizers. Your hip is your mover, right? And what else is going to move with it? Shoulders. Your low back is going to be stable. It's not thrusting. It's not moving. And your thoracic is mover. Your neck is always going to be stable. It's not moving. All right, so we want to work that other side. Hardest part is finding placement so that your form is good. Notice that my hip dipped down as I hit that pod. It sinks a little bit, and my shoulders moved with it. Exhale. Inhale as you come down, light and tight. Exhale as you come up. Inhale, come back down. and up. Nice. I'm just tapping my shoulders. I am cueing my body. And one more. And up. And then just kind of be self-aware of right side or left side. Which one's a little bit better, stronger? What one has more range of motion? Can hold the pose a little tighter. You're going to notice biomechanical imbalances in your body. That's normal. You just want to be self-aware of where they are. All right, we're going to go ahead and come down to the mat and work hamstrings. Okay, welcome down. I'm going to put my heels or my feet on my balance pods. And I'm going to be in a supine position. So I want to go ahead and lay down. I also want my abs and my spine to be tight. Notice that I'm driving my heels in. My ankles are still going to be my movers. I'm going to lift up into bridge. Now, if you're just starting out, you could just hold your bridge for 30 seconds. What we're going to do is I'm going to lift one leg, pulse up, bring this foot down, lift the other side, pulse up, bring it down, lift. Hamstring pulses to really work the back of the legs and into the glutes on an unstable surface. You want to keep breathing. And we work up and down, exhale and inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, that's it, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. My pod moved a little bit, so you need to be aware of your space. And then bring everything down, solidify your back, and then you can slide your pods away a little bit. Now, if you need to, you can rinse out your spine, rinse out your low back, take a simple supine twist just to rinse it out, stack it up, and then we are going to come into a prone position. So I'm just going to roll up really slow. They're not only just unstable, but they're soft. So they move because there's air inside them. Just like your Bosu. When you stand up on your Bosu, you've got distribution in there because that air is moving around. It would be like if you used a surge with water in it or a Kamagan with water in it. Something that moves around, or sand. Our sand bell workout, right? Our sand is constantly shifting. That's what makes it unstable. So we learn how to stabilize the movement using an unstable surface, and it really helps to strengthen the core. I love these because they're unstable and they help me with balance. Hold a high plank. I'm going to touch my shoulder, bring it down, grab my pod, touch my shoulder, bring it down, and just keep switching that way. Now, could I put my feet on the other one? Yeah, absolutely I could. See if this works. Yeah, that'll work. I want to make sure, just a little test on these, they slide on a floor. So you could use them for a whole different exercise, which in my head I'm thinking, wow, this is going to be awesome. We'll do it on another video. On my sticky mat, because I don't want them to slide out from under me and I don't want to get hurt. So this is what we're going to do. This is where we were at. Find what works for you. And we work. Then release. Adding the extra balance to the back really makes it challenging. Work up to that. But I just wanted you to show you could do it. And You could put one foot on one and then lift the other leg. That would be the next level. You could do it that way. There's a lot of ways you can do this. All right, we're getting down there. So what we want to do is, I want to find my tabletop. Okay, so the next exercise and our last exercise before I stretch you out is going to be bird dog or 2-point bridge. And I'm going to put my knees on the back and my hands on the front, and then we're going to work into our bird dog. You want to make sure, one, that they're hip width. So play with them first and get them where you need them to be so that you are in tabletop and your hip width. And then you're just going to play. So I'm going to lift one arm up, one leg back, and then both together. One arm up, one leg back, and then both together. And then you'll just start to do your bird dog. And we work. This is hard. It's good though. And then you're done. You could start out with 2 pods and, you know, work one at a time like this. You could start out with no pods and work your balance. It's still a balance exercise no matter what you're doing. Now consider that when you use the pods and you're not used to it, you're really pushing into your wrist flexors and extensors. I'm gonna open up and stretch my hips while we do this. We definitely want to dorsiplantar flex. You put a lot of stress on those pods, are unstable and you're hanging onto them and balancing on top of them. Open and close your hands, do some lion's paw. Make them feel better. Push the lactic acid out of your wrist flexors and extensors. Just if you're not used to being on your wrist flexors and extensors, then just note it, right? That you're going to want to stretch that. And I'm just going to open up my legs, stretch the back of my hips. You definitely feel that a little bit differently when you are on an unstable position. So normal squats are gonna feel different. Lunges are going to feel really different. Bird dog, I was surprised because I do bird dog all the time and I even do it on my Bosu, but I haven't done it on the pods. And so in a long while. So that was a little challenging for me because my body was not acclimated to it. And so that's great because what do we want? We want to move every day. We want to make it varied, and we want to, right, be adaptable and flexible, but we also don't want to do the same thing every day. That's why we want to keep it varied. Go into our playlist and watch my Movement Matters Coffee Talk, and it talks about why we need to make things varied, why we need to keep changing things up. And sometimes changing it up is using toys that you haven't used in a long time because it makes your body work hard for you instead of, oh, we do that all the time, I'm not gonna work as hard. And that's why we add these little toys in every now and then. So I'm just throwing it in there for you. If you've never worked on a balance apparatus before, I highly recommend that you start working your balance. Even if it's just, I'm gonna start standing on one foot and work that. You can also go into our playlist, like, subscribe, and share to our channel. Go into our playlist and I have some balance yoga tutorials that you can work those positions as well. So balance is one of the 3 points of fitness: cardio, strength training, balance, and flexibility. And we want to add it and make sure that we are working our balance, we don't fall. Stretch it out. Are there other balance exercises that you could do with these pods? Yes, there are plenty that you can do. I just wanted to give you a quick overview, different planes of motion. So we did supine, we did coronal, we did sagittal, and we did prone. Up, down, forward, that's gonna feel good, and back. Breathe up, exhale that away. Go in peace. Your 10-minute balance pods, using the balance pods workout is done. I hope that you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hydrate your body. We'll see you for the next workout. Bye.